There was a young boy. There was a young man named David, let's say. He wasn't the tallest. He wasn't the strongest. He wasn't the one that everybody expected. In fact, when the prophet Samuel came to David's house looking for the next king, David wasn't even invited into the room. His brothers were there, and they looked like kings. They looked strong. They looked qualified. But David was outside with the sheep. While everyone was being seen by people, David was being formed by God. And that's where the story begins, because sometimes the place where nobody notices you is the place where God is preparing you. David was a shepherd. That means he spent long days in fields, watching sheep, protecting them, guiding them, and staying faithful when nobody was clapping. But one day, danger came. A lion came for the sheep. David could have run. A bear came for the sheep, and David could have hidden. But David, he stood his ground. Not because he was trying to be famous, not because he was trying to impress people, but because he was faithful with what God had placed in his hands. Then one day, David's father sent him to bring food to his brothers. And they were soldiers in Israel's army. And when David arrived at the battlefield, he heard a voice. A giant named Goliath was shouting against the people of God. Every soldier was afraid. Every warrior was backing up. The whole army was frozen. But David heard something different. Everyone else heard the size of the giant. David heard the insult against God. And David looked around and said, "Why is nobody standing up?" People laughed at him. His own brother questioned him. The king doubted him. Goliath mocked him. But David remembered something they didn't know. You see, David remembered the lion. David remembered the bear. David remembered the secret battles where God had already helped him win. He remembered. So David walked toward the giant with a sling, 5 smooth stones, and faith in the living God. Goliath had armor. David had obedience. Goliath had a sword, and David had a testimony. Goliath, sure, he had size. David had God. And when David released that stone, the giant fell. Not because David was powerful by himself, but because God was with him. So the shepherd nobody saw became the warrior everyone remembered. Sometimes you may feel overlooked. You may feel like nobody sees your relationship with God, your prayers, and nobody sees your obedience, but yet they accuse you. Nobody sees the battles you're fighting in private because you keep it to yourself. But God sees. David was not made in the spotlight. He was made in the field. Before he defeated Goliath publicly, he learned to trust God privately. So do not despise the hidden season. Do not despise small responsibilities. Do not despise the place where God is teaching you faithfulness. Because the same God who was with David in the field was with David in front of the giant. And the same God who sees you in secret can strengthen you for what is ahead. Your giant is not bigger than God. Your past, it doesn't disqualify you. And your weakness is not too much for him. Stay close to Jesus. Stay faithful with what he has given you. Let his word cleanse your heart. Let the Holy Spirit form you. Because, after all, the battle is not won by appearance. It's not won by talent. Nor is it won by human strength. No, the battle belongs to the